All right, this is a quick little guide I wanted to make on opening moves for ardabil. This is on patch 1.36.2, checksum E9 3D. So this is just going to be going over estates, like your kind of opening moves, what you want to do for alliances, opening diplomacy, and kind of how you want to angle yourself to best and easily have a chance at expansion. So we're gonna hop in here, and I'm going to go over the estates first. If you want to just, if you already know what you're doing with the estates, you can just kind of skip ahead. But I'm going to go over those here. I will go over ulema and the demis last. For emirs, I like to take primacy. And then we'll go right of council. And then supremacy. And after that, I think we want to take emir's right for diet call and officer rights. Officer rights will allow us to get a general for free. And I do like to try and keep one open privilege here, as I like to take strong duchies later down the line, or keep it open for the integration policy. For merchants, I do also like to keep my crown land above 10, generally speaking. Especially as ardabil, you will be expanding early on. Normally, if you're just a one province miner, being below 10% crown land doesn't really matter. And even being as a larger nation, it doesn't matter that much if you know like how to manage your position. But personally, I don't like to go below 10% crown land. So the diplo privilege here is the last one that I kind of handed out later. And we will be taking some privileges from the other estates that will lower us. So I'm actually not going to take the diplomacy or the diplomana privilege here. I will be taking patronage of the arts, free enterprise, and allow merchant guilds economic freedom, as well as promote merchant guilds bookkeeping. You can take more stuff here if you want. This one for merchants, I feel like it's pretty open. I really like promote merchant guilds bookkeeping and economic freedom, as these modifiers you get, especially if you can keep your merchants happy, like they're very good. You can even take the estate privilege that lets you trade some prestige for loyalty as well, which is guilds monopoly rights. If you want to boost them up like right away, but that's kind of up to you. I don't do that. And then let's go look at Quizilbash. We will pretty much want to take like everything here. That's political influence, establish the regiments, protected communities, and supremacy over the aristocracy. You can close and reopen, and now you also have expand the Quizilbash. But that's going to cost you 5 crown land, and even without it, you already have 10 available regiments, and your max force limit is 6, so you don't need to take this right away. You can take that later. So the ulema and the demis, you kind of have a bit of a choice here, which you want to focus on. If you're going the Shia route and you know you're going to be doing a lot of converting, I like to hand out more privileges to the ulema to keep them happy. But if you're going to go the Zoroastrian route and like you aren't really going to be converting this stuff and you just kind of want to like sit on it and ignore it, I like to focus on the demis more and not really give too much out to the ulema. So for if you want to go like more chill, you're not really going to bother with the converting. All you really want to take from the ulema is religious state, oversight, and religious diplomats. Religious diplomats is the most important. No matter what you do for your opening moves, you must take religious diplomats. as it's basically going to allow you to live. If you want to take anything else there, go ahead. For dimmies, if this is for like the more, you want to kind of ignore religion a little bit till you get to Zoroastrian. I think you lose the dimmies estate anyway once you convert to Zoroastrian. So ultimately, it doesn't matter too much what you give them here. And especially like in your starting position, you can't actually give them a whole lot because you're missing some of the required land for the privileges to show up. But for the dimmies, I like to give them grant dimmy liberties, promote dimmy education. Again, if you're focusing on your dimmies, this is mutually exclusive with ulema. If you give your ulema promote dimmy education, you will not be able to give it to your dimmies and vice versa. So that's why I like to kind of like pick one of the two to sort of focus on. So give that to the dimmies. And then also protected dhimmi communities, as that will give you some religious unity. And so if you want to focus on the ulema more and you don't want to bother with the dhimmis as much. By the way, you should always try and keep your dhimmis happy, because if they're upset, they will give you tech cost penalty. And that is probably one of the most painful negative modifiers from the estates you can get. I think the only worst one is probably like the tribes estate. That one is like, you do not want to anger those guys. But for like ulema focused privileges, you will want to give them religious state. I like to give them oversight. You can take expansionist zealotry. I tend to wait to give till I like declare war on somebody to hand out expansionist zealotry. I don't take it right away because it does give you a bit of a loyalty malice, and if you're not at war, it does give you that negative modifier. So I will wait to declare before I give that out, if I do decide to give it out. I take religious culture. This does cost 5 crown land, so this will put us down to 0. Also usually I start with seizing land. I kind of forgot to do that. That doesn't matter too much. So yeah, take religious culture, religious diplomats, and then I also take clerical education here. So we want to keep our ulema happy because this is really good. Like this reform progress growth is really, really good. You always want to try and getting through your reforms as quick as possible because these bonuses they're just really good for you. So reform progress growth, good. So you only have one slot left here. You can take institutionalized ulema if you want to get your ulema happy, or you can keep this open and take expansion of zealotry whenever it is that you go and declare war. And then for the dhimmis in this case, I just give them grant dhimmi liberties. And those are your estates. Ultimately, you can do whatever you want with them, but this is the way I like to set my estates up for ardabil. Can summon diet here. I'm doing this all out of order. I normally seize land and then summon the diet. And then you kind of want to just take whatever's easiest. Again, summon the diet first, because you can usually get the Quizzle Bash to just be like, give 2 things to the Quizzle Bash. And that lets you get them happy really quick. And the Quizzle Bash have very good modifiers for high influence and high loyalty. But I forgot to do that. So I just try to take whatever's kind of easiest here. I guess we can take this number of allies. That seems like probably the easiest. And we will see here in a second what we can do for diplomacy. So for diplomacy, my 2 main goals or your goal should generally be to just survive. QQ and a jam almost always start either domineering or hostile towards you. QQ is basically guaranteed to declare on you, like as soon as they get a claim on you. So normally, actually, the first thing I do is counter espionage them to buy yourself a bit of time. And then after that, we can go look at our potential alliances here. Normally, Mushasha, I find is the easiest to try and ally. They don't have any existing diplomacy. For example, Mazandaran almost always rivals Gilan, who you start allied with. You can drop this alliance to make it easier to ally Mazandaran, but Mazandaran and Musashi are the two allies I try and grab here. And Baumanis is actually the third ally I try to get, which is normally a lot easier to get than you would think. This looks like a pretty hefty negative modifier, but with your religious diplomats, it's actually very easy. The only reason it looks so hard is because Baumanis cannot see you. But Baumanis is also Shia. So Baumanis doesn't actually have a whole lot of allies here, and they will generally be very happy to ally you once you start improving relations with them. You'll see that it normally you can ally them within 6 months, which is kind of enough time to, which is usually quick enough to ally them before QQ decides to declare war on you. So I am actually going to start with improving with Baumanis. That should go by pretty quickly. And then for your merchant, you can either steer from Basra or put it in Aleppo to collect. They're both pretty minimal in terms of how much money you get, but I think you kind of expand towards Basra a bit quicker, so I usually just put it down here to transfer to Persia. And then the last thing we're going to do before, or not actually the last thing, we can set our rivals here. And then for Ardabil, you have a mission here that gives you claims, and it just wants you to have 100% force limit. Don't build the Quizzlebash. Just grab the free company. You'll be over your force limit here. And you can use your estate interaction here to get a free general. And then that will upset them, but you can just trade a bit of your prestige to make them happy again because we took that other privilege. Do we want this? Nah. I'm actually not going to take this because you started 100% mysticism, which is 10% morale. 10% morale is pretty big. You can focus your mill here if you want to get your mill up quick, which isn't a bad idea. You do usually get a discipline guy. I don't know if that's guaranteed, but yeah, grab the discipline or the morale guy if you want. I like to try and keep my cash up, and Baumanis generally keeps you safe, so I don't feel a lot of pressure to defend myself once I get Baumanis. The reason Baumanis is such a good ally is this patch, they generally tend to win out against Vijayanagar. I don't see Vijayanagar actually beat Baumanis that often. Baumanis either chills or like dominates India here. It's like 9 times out of 10. And the other thing is, because you're far away, this is a purely defensive alliance. Baumanis will never bother calling you into any wars. And while that's a bit unfortunate, you won't be able to call Baumanis into any wars, it guarantees that QQ and Ajam will never declare on you. Granted that Baumanis doesn't die, which normally they don't. And yeah, so get that Merc stack. There is a mission here to get 3 Quizzlebash for your army tradition, but oh, actually, I didn't even see what kind of leader. Okay, this guy's not that good. Early game, you want your shock pips and siege pips. We can give our ruler this. Actually, I completely forget if this is a scripted general or not, but yeah, 3 shock, 2 siege is fantastic. That's an amazing starting general. And I'm just going to pause here, and we're going to go to December 11th, because that's when you can declare. I don't think I'm forgetting anything else. Yeah, I'll put focus here. I don't really want to bleed money just yet because I'm already going over force limit. I don't know if you want to take any of these off the bat. You are free to, but you can't really spend them. So it's better to just kind of hold these. And yeah, let's go to December 11th here. Okay. Shirvan, like, I don't think I've ever seen Shirvan not ally a jam before the 11th of December, unfortunately. If you have the chance to declare on Shirvan, do it. Just do it. Normally, like take loans, whatever it is, just declare on them because, like, this is good land up here. But they usually ally a jam, and it's not reasonable to beat a jam and Shirvan on your own as a one province miner. Normally what happens is you can try and go after Diapas right away. Normally they ally like Gazingmuk. Sometimes they'll ally like QQ or like, I don't know, maybe even the Timurids occasionally. But yeah, at this point, you actually do have the choice to leave Diapas alive and let a jam kill them. The reason you would want to do this is because sometimes just nothing happens here. And the way you expand is by attacking either QQ or a jam once they go to war with each other, or once a jam goes to war with the Timmies, or once Mamluks declares on QQ. Those are the most common kind of domino effect wars that happen. But sometimes it can just take a long time to do that, and you're just sitting around here waiting for something to happen. But you can also just declare on them and take this stuff for yourself. But I think, yeah, I'm just going to go and show you like how easy it is to ally Balmanis. So we're first. And oh yeah, you also have the choice if you want to keep Galan as an ally or not. I personally feel bad allying nations that I know I'm going to have to kill later. So this is sort of up to you. Sure, I'll just say yes. Doesn't matter that much. Oh yeah, also we can take this. This will give us claims. So it's good. So QQ has allied Sasha off the bat. Even if you counter espionage QQ, by the way, they will get a claim on your province. But so long as you ally Balmanis first, it doesn't really matter. So I think, literally, I'm just going to sit here and show you how like quickly and easily you can get this alliance. Okay, so unfortunately, Karabakh got the claim on this province. QQ can use that. But should be fine. Okay, actually, I completely forgot. What you're waiting for is the royal marriage. Kind of trolling here a little bit. So yeah, you just royal marriage them, and then they're friendly towards you, and all that malice, that like minus 150 malice is gone, and you can just ally them. And now QQ and a jam will never declare on you. You could sit here for however long you want. QQ and a jam will never declare on you. QQ has actually gone after Gazakmuk here, so Biapas, actually they also allied Dilkadir. But yeah, now it's just, you're kind of free to chill and either go after Biapas here. You can try and expand into the Caucasus area here. That does require dropping Galan as an ally. Normally you want to drop that like at the start, right off the bat. And then if you want, I try and get Musashi as an ally, and normally you'll be calling them into your wars because you'll be conquering up to Mazandaran. But Mazandaran is also a good ally. And there you go. So quick and easy alliance with Bahmanis, opening moves, and yeah, there you go.